And we're back. You remember us from the last video. Sorry we didn't get around to making one for the Southern Miss game, but school was in the way and it happened. So, but they won. It was a good win. So now we're back and we're going to do it for the Georgia game, which is tomorrow at noon on ESPN2. And we're just going to give our predictions and talk about it some. So I'll start off. I think obviously the big news is AJ Green is not playing, so I think that's huge because that leaves Gilmore is going to be on their number 2 receiver. I don't even know who that is. So I think we've pretty much got their passing game shut down. So I got a feeling we're going to see a heavy dose of the run from Georgia. Would you agree?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, like you said, Gilmore's going to be on their number 2, but with Culliver being up in the air, it looks like it's going to be down to our 3 versus their 3. So if Culliver doesn't play, that is going to be the passing game impact that I see is going to be C.C. Whitlock against their number 3 and see who's going to be better in that situation, because I think that's where their main passing is going to be going. And with their running game, it's been solid the past couple of years. They got Washaun Ely, and he's pretty... Caleb King, yeah. They're both very decent backs. And they also had another kid that played. I don't remember his name, but he played against Louisiana Lafayette. And he put up some pretty decent yards too. So it's like they have a 3-headed monster. It could be either one of them guys. So I think we're going to have to play some really solid defense against the run.
Yeah, but one good thing is we talked about this. You look at his passing stats from last week, and he had like 16 pass completions for only 120-some yards. It's something ridiculous. So they're not getting big chunks of yardage whenever they are throwing the ball. So if we can just kind of keep that in the middle area covered, I think we'll be okay, because we don't really give up too many big pass plays anyway. So that's kind of about Georgia. And Carolina, what do you think we need to do to win, or who do you think is going to be key players, or what?
All right. I've been thinking about this all week. All week now. Now, for our offense, it's going to fall on keeping a balanced offensive attack. If you can have the defense that you're going up against guessing on what you're going to do on third down situations where you're being just as dominant in the run or in the pass like we were last week, you're going to have the defense on their heels the whole time. And that's just going to open up so many different things that you can do on third down situations to get that first down that you need to keep a drive going.
Definitely, and it's key that we stay in third and short. We don't want to get in a 3rd and 7, 3rd and long situation, because then that's an obvious passing down. And we saw last week we've got Kenny Miles. Maddox is going to be playing fullback now, so that'll be a good short yardage back. And then, of course, Marcus Lattimore, who's a good tough runner. So I think if we can keep it in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, maybe even 3rd and 4, that definitely leaves it open for what we can do, because we've got 3 good backs that can get those 4 yards. Plus, we've got Garcia. We can roll him out, and we got tall receivers like Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Gurley and those guys. So who do you think will be the key player for a Gamecock win?
Key player on...
If you can narrow it down to just one, maybe one offensive and one maybe defensive player.
All right, the one defensive player, I don't really see it as a key player, but I see it as a unit. It's going to be the linebacking core, because we have a veteran defensive line and they have a veteran offensive line. I think that's going to be a great matchup. But when the running backs are going to get through the line of scrimmage, I think that's where it's going to be won, is if our linebackers can step up with their, I wouldn't say inexperience, but I mean they're not as experienced as most everyone else. But I mean they have seen playing time. But
and our most experienced receiver, or linebacker, is Rodney Polk, and he's been hurt the past couple of years, so he's been in the system, but he hasn't had as much playing time as you would think somebody at his level should. So I totally agree. I think linebackers are going to be key tomorrow. Like I said, our secondary is strong. Like I said, the 3-on-3 matchup will be one to see, but our secondary is strong. Our defensive line is strong. We got Cliff Matthews. He's a beast. But I definitely think you need to look out for the linebackers tomorrow. How about offensively? What unit or what player do you think would make an impact?
It's got to be the offensive line. We're going to be going up against the 3-4. And the way I would attack the 3-4 is your line just has to dominate the 3. And any other kind of blockers that you need are going to have to be able to just take them linebackers out one-on-one.
Which is good that Brian Maddox is playing fullback now, because Brian Maddox is our best blocking tailback. So that's good that he's in there. So
yeah, I mean, I think you need to combat the more linebackers. You need more athletic blockers to move around on the field to block them out. Like you said, we have DeMarco move to tight end, and we have Maddox moved to fullback, and that's just going to give us more, more solid mobile blockers,
right? Definitely
to help counter their 4 linebackers,
who are also threats to catch the ball in the backfield.
Exactly.
Brian Maddox can catch the ball in the backfield. DeMarco, this is his first game at tight end, really, but with some legitimate competition. But he was always good at catching the ball in the backfield whenever he was playing fullback. So I think the running backs or tailbacks are going to be key. We're good at receiver. We've got Jeffrey and Torrey Gurley and all those guys, and they're all big. And I think Garcia will have some time to get them the ball. But I think our running backs are going to be key because, like you said, we need to get a balance and we need to establish the run early, and we need to not abandon it if it's not working. I think Steve Spurrier a lot of times has a tendency that if the run isn't working early, you just go to automatically throwing the ball, and then you become predictable, and then you lose that balance. But what's good now, though, is like you said, you've got Kenny Miles, and Brian Maddox and Lattimore in the backfield, and they can all catch the ball out of the backfield good. So that gives them that extra dimension. And then, like I said, offensive line is always huge because, quite frankly, we haven't had the best offensive line in quite some time. So any game where they have a decent game is definitely key for success. I'm not too worried about Garcia. He had a good game last week. He's been in the system. He's matured. His hair's long again, which means he's got that swag back that he used to have before Spurrier made him cut it off. So I think he'll be fine. I doubt Connor Shaw will get any playing time, and the reason why I say that is because I think it'll be kind of a close game, and I don't know if he'll be willing to throw Shaw in the game, with it kind of being touch and go. Even though he is from Georgia, I'm sure he has some vengeance he'd like to receive there. You might see the Wildcock stone with Gilmore, maybe early in the game just to kind of throw a wrinkle to try to get an early score. Or you might see another end around with Ace Sanders like he did last week, but that's what I think. So do you have a score prediction?
We saw.
And if you're right, you'll do something special for the people next week.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we can do something like that.
We can do something special.
But I mean, it's like you said. I don't think Shaw's going to get much playing time, but I think he will get to play some.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be where we send him out there and we're expecting him to march us downfield. But I think there would be like key plays that we'd send him in on that maybe he could handle a little bit better than Garcia. Maybe like a couple speed options.
Try and
break the edge. But I don't think he'll get major playing time. But we saw last week that both offenses can put up tons and tons of points. But I think this week, it's going to be SEC defenses, and you don't put up tons and tons of points on SEC defenses. But I think it's going to be around the range of 24-17 since Green's not going to play. South Carolina with the victory at home against a learning quarterback at Georgia.
Definitely. That's a good pick. I was going to say probably 24-13, somewhere around that range. Like you said, SEC defenses are a totally different beast than what both teams saw last week. You've got a rough crowd. This will be Georgia's quarterback's first experience on the road with a rowdy crowd. So I think that'll play a little part in it. But I do think Carolina will come out with a win. I am a little biased, but I do think A.J. Green not playing is huge because he is by far their best receiver. And it's nice to know if you're a quarterback that you've got that one guy you can always throw the ball to, and he won't be there. So he'll be trying to look for somebody new. So I think we're going to win probably 24-13. You think we're going to win?
24-17.
24-17. So we'll see if we're right. And remember the game is on ESPN2 at noon. So you can tune in to see if we know what we're talking about. Because we do, don't we?
I'm pretty confident in our analyzing.
We're pretty good analyzers. So, but anyway, we will see you next week. Maybe do one for the Furman game. So, anyway, take care.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Gaga.